formerly known as Insomniac. If you remember that one, the Bayonetta player, they changed their tag. I remember I was commentating a tournament with Frank, with Hangman, and they didn't know who this was. It was online during the pandemic. DNA.exe. Who did that all the time?
Lights, the one ZSS made from, I think, Canada. They would enter the Master Hand brackets under like some different dumb tag, and it's just.
I will say, Smashers do got some of the best tags. Real ones from my age, if you want to go way, way back. Remember Hispanic at the Disco?
Yes, absolutely.
And also Juju King. But anyway, we got GOCK and my RARI. Jakal, we have it. Winners finals. Is it still same rules apply? Are we going to best of 5 territory?
I've only entered two. I've only entered two brackets under my actual, under Stu the Announcer my entire life. The other time I just used a list of tags that I had on my phone. And that's why you would have, oh, can we get Yoda Cage versus 6 hobos with knives? So, just stuff like that, you know?
They just... So never change, Smashers, never change. Some of the best tags, on par with Team Fortress 2 players, like them and TF2 players, best tags in the world. And speaking of best in the world, there's some of the best coverage in the world right there. As that upbeat going to take away the exploitable recovery of Duck Hunt right there. Very far up and away recovery. It goes a really far distance, but no hitbox on that. None whatsoever. So, you know, against a character with big meaty hitboxes, or big beefy hitboxes, I should say, like Wolf, definitely going to be second to none to be able to deal with this. Well, it's just a reflector. What do you do when your moves are all projectiles and you got a real fast reflector that you can just leave out like that?
Oh. Well, I mean, what you can do is put him just enough below ledge, and Jakal is just going to have to give up the ghost there. 2 stocks to 1 in favor of Fawn. And yeah, you already know, GOCK and my RARI got that pace on him. And it's going to whip, straight up pistol whipping Jakal at this point, but small battlefield. You got the camera zooming in and out like it's a Wes Anderson film almost, but hang on. Forward throw.
I can see the rule of thirds being applied right here between the can and the gunman right there. You really note Wes Anderson's pure cinematography ability when
zooming in.
You know when they casted Bill Murray for the millionth time and put them right in the center of the frame. I love it. How many fighting games can you say you can play as Bill
Wilson
Murray?
Is Wolf O'Donnell. Oh my goodness! But
wow!
How many?
That was a great forward smash. Wow!
And like in many other Wes Anderson movies, Owen Wilson dies somewhere near the end. GOCK and my RARI taking game number 1, and sorry to spoil at least 2 of them for you. But
what is the one with the water?
The Life Aquatic.
Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou, yeah.
And that is legitimately one of my favorite.
I love that movie too. I remember watching it in the film class, but yeah, spoiler alert. You watch it what?
I watch it with my brother every Christmas.
I love that movie, yeah.
And that's the whole reason why I'm up here is my brother's wedding. Shout out to Bryce Campbell and his wife.
Hey.
So yeah, got married on Saturday.
Congrats to the bride and groom.
Look, I'm going to shout that out no matter what, and I do apologize to Fawn and Jakal to having to hear that over their VOD review.
I'm sorry we talked about Owen Wilson dying.
Yeah, but I don't know. Whatever. Get over it. Anyway, Town and City for game number 2. It's still apropos, okay? We're looping it into the match. And I got to say, yeah, when it gets into this Omega, this little pseudo-Omega form here for 50% of the match, I mean, it does obviously make it a very different stage, but how different of a game does it really make it?
You do have the highest vertical blast zones in the current legal stage list of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and what probably will be the current stage list of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate throughout the game's entire lifespan. Duck Hunt likes to kill off the top. Not with up smash necessarily, but with that up air, which true confirms out of the clay shot, can combo into itself, can get off of a grab, off some 50-50s, and sometimes even a true combo. So Jakal is not going to have to worry about that as much for one thing, I would say. But at the very least, I do believe this was GOCK in my RARI. I thought GOCK in my RARI won game number 1. Did I blink?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says Jakal's up 1-0. But either way, as far as this stage benefiting Wolf instead, living off the top is definitely going to be sublime. But living off the side is going to be a whole different story, as that reflected can off the kick is going to do it in stock number 1, going to Jude, Jakal Harris, with all the room in the world on a bigger stage to be able to deal with Duck Hunt. I mean, that's really the biggest thing that goes into my head beyond blast zones. You actually have a lot of room to be able to keep away from Duck Hunt, but it's going to depend on how Duck Hunt wants to play. It's like, are you the kind of Duck Hunt that likes to trap between a can and the Duck hitbox? Are you the one that likes to throw the can out, throw the Sheriff out, run away, let them do all your dirty work?
Can't catching Wolf and not able to do anything about that. You're just going to have to eat that damage. Open up that can of beans. That is delicious stuff from GOCK and RARI. As we're going to have 2 stocks apiece. Still an advantage for Jakal, especially if you keep Duck Hunt off the edge.
Absolutely, is that forward smash not going to do it off of the side blast zone right there. GOCK and RARI up a whole game. Jakal taking 2 Town and City, and what I love right now is how Jakal is just holding on to stage control, and that does let, you know, that does let GOCK and RARI get all those resources off the level, but how much of those resources matter to regain stage control if Jakal already has it? If you're the one who's sort of just sitting there, like holding center, up a whole stock, Charlie Brown kick going to do it off the side right there. Certainly looking like it might be Jakal's game to lose, who's doing a wonderful job, I should say. Just picking and choosing his moments, just firing out a pot shot safe and sound with the laser from the other side of the level, hitting the can and turning the can into his to get that much damage off of it. That was 50%, or almost 50%, I should say, tacked on while being a whole character's length away. Picking and choosing your spot so good as Jakal. Like, all these years later, I don't even remember the last time I commentated Smash. All these years later, just still being so consistent with just knowing when to pick and choose your moments, when a hitbox is going to beat what, and just knowing when stage positioning is more important than aggression.
No, it's pretty beautiful stuff.
It is,
but
truly.
No, this is Jakal in rare form. Certainly, maybe a little bit of a chip on their shoulder after that. After that whole thing at Nightmare where they finished 5th.
Yep.
Certainly you wanted a better result than that. Still decent showing at the Rutgers tournament, but nonetheless still something that you want to that you wanted more from, I would imagine, if you're Jakal, because you are a globally ranked player. You do have that expectation hoisted upon you no matter what. And certainly though GOCK and RARI had a decent showing themselves, losses to Delta Force and Brujo solidifying a 9th place finish, you're still wanting, like, these are 2 individuals who want more. They're still kind of, maybe not necessarily on the come up necessarily, but they're still wanting to. Also, I heard Ice Climber.
You did.
This is something interesting. Fawn, you care to explain yourself here?
I've never seen this before personally. I might have just been out of the game for a really long time, so I don't know if this is a common counter pick that happens. It's a thing. Okay, word. I haven't seen this necessarily before, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. I mean, this is one of the game's most super sleeper characters. Everybody just kind of gets reminded how good Ice Climbers actually are every time Big D makes an appearance at a tournament, and every time we have another Canada major and he just farms everybody.
Yeah.
It's not often at the local level.
I am going to shout out Sin over in Japan. Oh, well.
Thank you.
Very good Ice Climber.
Thank you for that as well. Definitely seems like the kind of character that you'd find more so over there rather than here. Is that up B going to go a little bit too low? But seldomly seen at the local level over here, with the exception of GOCK and RARI. Those desyncs, second to none, multiple ways to set them up by just getting those A landing frames with one climber and then just being able to spam the other move that you want to get that desync up and going. Multiple ways to be able to do that, as well as with the up tilts. Beautiful stuff, and the coverage bouncing in between, ping-ponging around off of the platform. Is Nana gonna go in to save her man right there? Although I do think Nana is I think on this particular ult that might be Nana is the one you play as, I think, to get into semantics. But either way, that is a solo climber that we're going to have to deal with right here. Immediately drops about like a solid 2-3 tiers when you already have this character up and out by themselves, especially against a character whose hitboxes are just flat out better than yours like Wolf's are. But
yeah,
insurance is already gone. Yeah, 39.
Like, what else are you going to do? You have the run speed to outpace that, so you are going to take that stock with the dash attack for free. And, you know, I mean, Jakal will say thank you. Polite man raised by good parents. So that is going to be Jakal being put on ice ever so temporarily. But yeah, again, it's not like ices aren't impossible to find in Jersey. In fact, we did have ices making an ever so brief top 10 appearance not even just a couple months ago. The tag is escaping me, but yeah, when you see an ices, you do get taken back a little bit when you see someone like Ukami, for example, just kind of making their way into the bracket with it. But yeah, certainly GOCK and my RARI, man, you know, breaking out the ices. Not all that common, but you do see it, you know, just every now and then between like the snake and the Bayo counter.
I remember Wishes way back in the day actually did have an Ice Climbers.
That's right.
Yeah, had to whip them out against one Nintunist versus the Pokemon trainer. Was a pretty solid counter pick to say the least. And here we go. That's one up tilt. Knowing there's nothing true off of that, just running in to try to catch an air dodge read. Nothing doing on Jakal, just keeping his cool and not giving GOCK and RARI the air dodge read they want. Knowing the limited resources that a solo climber has as opposed to two. Recognizing that kind of have to go for like hard reads there instead. So finally going to be able to get the stock instead as we got ourselves a dead even game. But one grab, one hit off of a parry, I should say, is all it ever takes with a character like Ice Climbers to be able to just take you down, put you on ice in the depths of hell, and make it seem like hell froze over. But that's already 73%, I should say, tacked on the part of Jakal. What is the ledge trap right here? Going to get hit by the lingering climber going up with the forward air. The option coverage, at the very least in terms of recovering, is very much there for GOCK and RARI. Beautiful anti-air, and is this going to be big damage? No, able to neutral air out is Jakal once again, somehow fighting this game back from the depths of hell off of that SD from before. Reversing the scenario again, already getting hit by one Ice Climber and then just getting tacked on damage by the other one. It's like you hit one and the other one is just there, Stu. The desyncs on par of GOCK and RARI are just so beautiful, but is it too little too late with this high percent?
I mean, GOCK and RARI, you do need solid fundamentals in order to pilot a character like Icy or Duck Hunt, but the amount of brain power that it must take to know what to do with both, mistiming the get up for certain, right into the, you really, Wolf O'Donnell's just saying, respect this boot right here real fast, but that's just crazy. Hit him with the Tims, made him miss the kill. It is the 2-1 in favor of Jakal, but as we're seeing now, GOCK and RARI does have something to consider as we're going to take that and wind it back. Got them on the get up, distancing themselves perfectly. Yeah, and that's going to be, show them the Tims real fast. Yeah, I just got these.
What are you reaching there? What are you reaching there for, boy? The Tims of Lilat?
God. Why was it?
I'm going to need those, boy.
Why is that what's getting me? Smashville for game number 4. And this is an interesting pick, going back to Duck Hunt, obviously. But I don't necessarily think that the Ices did poorly. It's just, it's too often, I think Fawn found themselves in the Sopo situation.
Yeah.
Not wanting to have to negotiate that. Just wanting that, that KO power all the way through. However, I mean, Jakal is knowing that you can just, this is the known quantity, isn't it? This is what you prepared for if you're Jakal.
It is, yeah. What I wasn't prepared for was Duck Hunt low profiling Wolf's laser with F tilt.
Yeah.
Or with down tilt, whichever one it was. They looked eerily similar. Haagen-Dazs scoop, gonna do it up to the, gonna do it up to the top right there. Yeah, I love that. I mean, you were mentioning just too many Sopo appearances. It's not even just the Sopo appearances. It's the fact that Jakal, with the game knowledge that he has, knew what to do against Sopo. But the biggest example was just, you saw, with the Sopo, you saw GOCK and RARI go for the up tilt, land an up tilt, right? Not go for another one because it's not true. Instead, foxtrotting forward one spot and then doing another one right there to try to catch an air dodge forward to see how Jakal was going to try to get out of the combo. That was, Jakal never gave GOCK and RARI that because he knew Ice Climbers they have to go for that in order to be able to get more damage as Sopo. I'm just not going to give him that one thing. That was just pure game knowledge up right there in the beef. And Jakal, I was going to say looking pretty before, but now only 30% deficit, and it's firmly in the favor of GOCK and RARI right there as the beautiful down smash coverage going to cover the roll back in. Can being reflected on par is now Wolf's. Nothing doing. Ballsy neutral air going in for GOCK and RARI. Stage controls reset once again. Ooh, can confirm, not going to do it right there. Can confirm that can is not going to confirm. Try saying that 5 times fast.
I won't, thank you. But we're going to see now. I mean, this is Jakal sitting at 163. All you need is like a single hit that has a little bit of heft behind it. Certainly up smash, fitting the bill. It's the first time that these two have faced off with so much at stake. The highest stakes match they had before this was a winner's semifinal match over at another edition of Fusion. Jakal wound up taking that by a score of 2-0. Jakal winning that tournament. But all-time 2-4 in favor of Jakal. Can GOCK and RARI perhaps reverse the trend here? Although I will say, every time they beat him, never finished any lower than 5th. Certainly guaranteed a 3rd place finish here, but GOCK and RARI has something to prove against this globally ranked Wolf, one of the best in the world that is Jersey born and bred, and trying to find their way through into grand finals undefeated. But you're going to need to take 2 off of Jakal in order to make it happen. And certainly you're going to need to get back to the stage. I mean, Jakal has been putting on a clinic with the ledge play thus far.
Putting on a clinic with the ledge play, not only up close, but with the laser too. Like, every single time that GOCK and RARI tries to throw out a cannon to recover, which is something a lot of characters either can't deal with or will have to try to hit it back up close, or if they don't have a reflector, good luck dealing with it. Jakal has a reflector, but he's not even using it because he doesn't have to. I'm just going to run back to center stage, regain stage control, while giving offensive pressure at the same time with the transcendent projectile. You try to use that to make your way back, pow. Just going to pot shot that on the way back. Get back off that ledge, my friends. You're done, and get back down into the loser's bracket. That is Jakal securing grand finals winner's side over GOCK and RARI.
Who else could it have been except Jakal? I mean, obviously, not a perfect journey. If nothing else, GOCK and RARI, and indeed Bobo, putting slight blemishes on that record. Nonetheless, the challenges, Jakal has stepped up to them and surmounted them. It is going to be the #1 seed in the tournament. Jakal making it to grand finals on winner's side. As we take a look at these replays, obviously contentious from the very beginning. The duck hunt, at the very least, giving a good account for itself, especially over the course of this game #1.
Indeed, that spike was just really, really good. I mean, it's hard to get Wolf in that position in the first place, but once you do and you actually hit him with a spike, you know that that poor recovery is not going to be able to make it back. Much better horizontally than it is vertically, but even not by that much is that coverage from GOCK and RARI right there. Not able to do like a neutral get up because of the gunman right there. So a roll is what's going to come out, and baiting that to the depths of hell and back was GOCK and RARI. Classic duck hunt ledge play, being forced to go to town and city and dealing with higher blast zones in game #2. As a result of your successful play, worked out successfully for Jakal, as you are going to see by plays that you're about to see right here. Up a whole stock, just feeling out neutral right there, baiting out that nair as he is one to do. Just do it once again. And then just, you can't be whipping those double jumps against Wolf O'Donnell.
Yeah.
He's got Tims.
No, and I do have
He's got Tims.
Oh, you already know.
Those are Venomian Tims.
You would think that the New Yorker would know the value of having Tims inside in a fist fight, but nonetheless, I am kind of curious about your opinion, because we saw that game 1 victory, and it was a convincing one at that, 2 stocks. And of course, we saw the response, a 2-stock victory for Jakal, but you know, the switch to Ice Climbers being what it was, what was the biggest adjustment that you saw Jakal make between games 1 and 2 that allowed them to really take over the set?
I would say being a lot more careful by the ledge. Wolf already doesn't have the best recovery, as I mentioned earlier, getting spiked by that down air, which is a pretty beefy hitbox to get hit by. Even sometimes with a double jump, Wolf is not going to be able to make it back, despite the high priority, I should say, of that up B, as well as just, you know, making sure to not be by the ledge when you were at over 100%. Because more than anything, Jakal got hit by either spikes off stage or ledge traps. Basically, when you're in the same position, real close by the ledge, whether it was either an aerial or from a classic ledge set play ledge trap on the part of Duck Hunt that you're going to expect, that was him just remembering the matchup between games #1 and games #2. Because game #1, that was how he lost all of his stocks. I can't do a neutral get up here because the gunman's here. I'll roll. Oh, wait a minute. It's Duck Hunt. 2 options coverage at the same time with that F smash. Gotta have to stop doing that right there. And that was the position that he focused more than anything on not being in.